Back to my familiar background. Here at home, I'm feeling tired right now, but I'm choosing to be a trooper because I'm not trying to go to bed early and wake up in the middle of the night looking at the ceiling. A little while ago, I yawned like a cow at pasture. Mama was like, "Go to your bed." I'm like, "No." It was like a little after 7. And I was like, "I don't think I'm going to go live tonight." And then 2 seconds later, I'm going to go live tonight. So, welcome back to Antonias Blissful Corner, your quiet space for reflection, growth, and peace. Before we dive in, I kindly ask that you grab my book, Unlocking the Introvert, a pocket guide to understanding and interacting with introverts. It's available at societyofintroverts.com, Amazon, and everywhere books are sold online. So, tonight's reflection is all about coming home feeling like a changed person. My flight leaving London was delayed, of course, because why not? It was delayed going, why not delay coming back too? But at least this time there wasn't anyone sitting on the floor. Um, and it was actually because at least when we were leaving here, this even though it was a delayed flight, the um the gate was announced, so we were able to go and sit at the gate. For this one, the gate was not announced, and um, because basically it's not on the board, so you don't know where to go. So there's a big area to sit. So I sat there, not before I did a little shopping, and it brought me back to the time when Mama and I would stop in the gift shops and pick up this and pick up that for colleagues and friends and this and other. And we would spend. I used to spend so much money on gifts. It didn't matter where I traveled. At a point in time when I had people reporting to me, I used to buy stuff for my direct reports so much. But there's this one particular, actually two, but one in particular who I appreciate very much. He's also introverted, and we like like cute little things. And she brought me back this mini um, Jane Austen book. It's a tiny little book, and like those are the kind of gifts that we exchange. So because I had time yesterday, I said, let me go venture into the gift shops to see what I can get. And I even got something from mom, which I normally don't, but um anyway, it was cute. So when they announced the gate, made my way to the gate and parked my behind, and I was thinking, oh, it's gonna be a nice light flight because hardly anyone was there. But eventually people came and basically sat wherever they could, except on the floor. It was a full flight. It was a full flight. Going over, there was a seat between me and I was at the window, person at the aisle. Coming back, hardly any empty seats. But I mean, despite the fact that it was delayed, it was a good flight. There was some turbulence. So I'm the weird one who'd be like, "Oh." I never forget. I think we are going to Jamaica one time, a number of years ago, and it kept like dropping like this, and I was like, "Wait!" I didn't say it loud because people react differently to these things. I actually enjoy it, but anyway, made it back safely. I got home after midnight, so I was tired, but I couldn't feel like I was still in like their time zone. So I went to bed very late. Woke up earlier than I wanted to. Actually, it wasn't early when I woke up this morning. It was just that I didn't get uh, a decent amount of sleep. But I'm grateful, right? I came home tired, but not emotionally drained, just full. Earlier in the day yesterday, woke up because I didn't take with me. I love to walk wherever I go. So one of the first things that I pack when I'm going anywhere is my walking slash running shoes and a tire. And usually when I go to London, I actually, bring the proper layers and stuff. But I think because this time was only a few days, I didn't I decided I wanted to just do my carry on so that I can be in and out the airport, and it just didn't make any sense to have like so much luggage with me not having any plans. Like it was intentionally designed that way, right? So I didn't have to worry about, taking loads of clothes that I wouldn't wear. But I didn't really anticipate the cold. Now it does get cold in the UK, but I just feel like their cold is different. Like it's kind of like it's damp. It's damp and it's like bone chilling. Anyway, yesterday was actually very mild. I was excited. It was like 52, I think, by the time I went outside. And the first day that I actually went for a walk, and it was because I had to go to a cousin's home to get something. And I walked through one of the parks near the house that I actually like. One of the things that I appreciated about London, I didn't notice it until a few years ago, is that their dogs are very well trained. There's a park near my aunt, and I never forget the first time when I went for a run near there, and I saw dogs off the leash, and I was thinking like, immediately, because I used to be deathly afraid of dogs, but now like I'm okay if they're not, if they don't get excited, because if they get excited, I get excited and run. Haven't done that in a while, but I have ran from dogs before. But anyway, that's one of the things that I love to see is dogs in an open field, basically, running and just having time, right? No barking, no, it's, I don't know. For me, like, it's just a beautiful thing to see. So anyway, I walked through this park as I went to visit a cousin. Got back home, prepared breakfast for me and uncle. Or did I eat? Did we eat first? No, I prepared breakfast when I got back before we went to his GP, his general practitioner. So I enjoyed that. I always enjoy walking with uncle, even before now. Like anytime I go to London, especially in these past years. And I'm always like just looking at how strong he walks. I mean, like he walks like he doesn't walk as fast anymore because like he has slowed down, but he's not walking with a cane or anything like that. And yesterday, a patient that was at the doctor's office was very impressed when I mentioned that he was 90, because she was much younger, and but she was also like weaker and basically having a time, trying to get up the stairs. Meanwhile, uncle's taking the steps one stairs at a time, not two at a time, not like stepping on and like with each foot like that. Like he was like working. I was like, wow. Like, wow. But anyway, I'm glad that we were able to get that done and make some appointments for him for the coming weeks. um his nephew is there, so his nephew will basically monitor him and like just keep him on track. But yeah, I mean, I've been going to London since I was about 12 years old. And I remember there were times when I'd be like, oh, I can totally live here, because I don't know, there's something about London that I love. The only thing I don't like is the fact that the sun is shy over there. I feel like the sun is introverted in England. And I feel like the cold, just like here though, like the cold feels colder. I remember last winter here, we didn't get a whole lot of snow, but it was super, super cold. Like we had some really cold days. But anyway, I'm grateful. Like it's funny, like when I wake up in the mornings and I see the sun, my eyes are like, oh my God, the sun is here. And that was yesterday morning. But I'm glad that I was able to get out get out for the stroll. Um, and not, well, the one in the park, because the ones that we have to do like that are more like errand like, those are good, but I'm talking about a stroll by myself. um yeah. um I was able to reflect a lot there, and when I got back, about this week. Traveling alone has become surprisingly, or is becoming surprisingly comfortable for me. I never imagined that I would reach this point, packing up, hopping on a plane, and feeling at ease. But here I am, right? Usually, like if I'm going someplace and mom decides that she doesn't want to go, I will pray that she changes her mind. Well, when she said no this time, I mean, she had her reason why, and I decided that I didn't want to push. But it's crazy how comfortable I felt, basically, like just doing this thing, by myself. I missed her, but thank God for phones. Excuse me. But I'm deeply grateful for the one-on-one time that I had with my uncle. These past few days brought, um, I don't know, it brought the saying, like once a man, twice a child to life. There were moments when I felt like the parent, right? I remember when his nephew came to visit yesterday. I said something about our child. Because there's a whole lot of, like just reminding uncle to do this, and then, trying to be stern because, like he's a miserable old goat. He's very stubborn. But underneath all of that, like is a person who is misunderstood and is actually a good person, right? It's crazy how as we grow older, we start to think about, like the things that we've done. And sometimes he'll say the words, "I'm a good person. I'm kind to people." I'm like, "Yes, you are." you know. Um, I don't know. I all I could do was hope and pray that he will be well. It's crazy because before I left the house, I was already on orbits trying to find when, when is the best time to travel in the early part of next year, where the tickets will not be like super expensive. Because I'm hoping that things will work out a certain way for me. Excuse me, so that I will be able to go back and see him, hopefully twice next year, if not more. But for now, at least twice. Just so that, um, I mean, if it was closer, like I would do more. But it's quite the distance. Number one, number two, it's not cheap. But I was happy to be there to, even though his nephew did come in at the end of the day, like, these were some days that he didn't have to worry about cooking or worry about, like uncle being, okay, right? And also basically taking him or going along with him to his general practitioner. So, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I was able to do that. Hi, blessings. Thank you. Um, the trip was great. I'm grateful that I was able to spend the time with my uncle, get to know him more, and um, just help to establish routine with him, which is a very difficult task. But I'm glad that he is healthy, for his 90-year-old self, and that he's very much independent. I asked his nephew today how he was doing, and he said, he went over to actually prepare a meal for them. But when he got there, uncle was already frying chicken. So his nephew is going to just plan to prepare Sunday meal that should last a couple of days. So thank you, blessings, for asking. Excuse me. Um, so for those, I was speaking to someone in that's in the chat named Blessings, because blessings is a blessing. um, but yeah, so because I only had a carry on, packing was light. I actually, because traveling to the UK from the UK is a little tricky because sometimes they actually measure the cases. It has to fit in this square container. It has to be like the right weight. But thankfully, yesterday they didn't check. But what I did though is a couple months ago I was in Marshalls and I saw those vacuum seal bags, the ones that you can roll up. And so I bought a pack that, and it came, I think, like four of the plastic bags. And I decided to use them because at least this way, rolling all the air out, it kind of flattens everything. So at least this way, the front of the suitcase isn't like, like sticking out. So that helps. But after I packed my suitcase, because of course, like everything everything is, kind of like in phases, right? So going over, I was already sad because I knew that the return, like leaving, was going to be the worst part, because then, like he'll see me for a few days and then I would have to leave. And so yesterday, like every day he would wake up and he was like, "Is today Friday?" "No, uncle, it's Wednesday." Yesterday he woke up, "Is it Saturday?" "No, uncle, it's Friday." So I asked his nephew to get a calendar so that he'll be able to mark it off at night. So when he wakes up, he knows exactly what day it is. Um, And, I'm grateful that we were able to laugh together at his forgetfulness. And I assured him that I'm forgetful too. Right. Um, because I think sometimes, as we grow older, I'll put myself in that category too, but as we grow older, like we don't move as fast as we once used to, and we forget things, like a little bit more. And sometimes people take it seriously. I do not. I laugh. I laugh. Where's my phone? Why can't I find my phone? Oh, my phone is right here. And I laugh, it's annoying sometimes because sometimes you're looking for the thing and you rush to get somewhere, and like you're delayed because of the lapse in memory. But it's life, right? I think that it's important to basically like just know how to laugh through life, because you can't take life too serious. Anyway, I brought my suitcase downstairs, and he was napping at the time. And I don't remember what he asked me. And I was like, oh, no, no, no. Just, told him, preparing to leave. And he's like, you're leaving me? And it tugged at my heartstrings because I knew that it was going to happen. And all I kept saying to him was like, don't cry. Like I look at him sometimes and I'll just look at him like a parent, and like I'll hold his shoulders gently like this. And I look him dead in the eyes. I'm like, don't cry. Don't cry. Just happy thoughts. Just happy thoughts. And he'll, like he'll have his chest will heave up like this, but then he'll calm down, and, like like yesterday, he said, I already miss you. And I said, I miss you too. Cause it's been over a year. No, almost 2 years. 2 years. It's been 2 years since I've been. But I'm grateful that this time I was able to go. I'm grateful that it was only he and myself for the most part during the days, because we were able to just develop a nice quiet um, routine. There were times when, like he would just reflect and, get emotional. And I'm glad that I was there in that moment, because the reality of it is that is possibly his daily routine, right? Um, the difference is no one is there to see it, right? And I think that being there and having someone who can relate and who can, um, I don't know, I think for him, having the company in the house was good. And I wish that I lived closer so that I can make that a reality. I mean, I would consider moving there, but I love the son. Me and the son have a great relationship, and I don't see why I would want to leave the son. Why? No, I can't. I cannot. But so right. So after we had breakfast, then we walked to the general practitioner, which was great because I love walking on the street with him when he sees or when people see him that he knows, and they're like, "Hi, Mrs. So and so," and then he'll say, "You see, you know why they know me? Because I know them for many years," and he'll basically go down a whole like story about how he met this person and what they mean to him and blah blah blah. But and then you can see there's a mutual respect, between whether the person is older or younger. Like there's always this like genuine love for my uncle. So I love seeing that. Um, One of the things that I appreciated most was the fact that um, you know he was comfortable just sharing certain thoughts. Um, and I can always tell when he's telling me this, like when I can always tell when certain things that he shares with me is something that he's sharing just with me, and I feel special. I do feel special because like I think that in life, even if we have a gaggle of friends, which I don't, I think that there's some people that we're comfortable sharing some things with, some yeah, some things than others. I think there are some people that we are okay with sharing things with more than others. I think that sounds better. And I'm grateful that Uncle sees me as a person who he can basically like speak to, like without feeling rushed or judged or anything like that. So Blessing said, yeah, me too. I was looking for my phone when I had it. Video exactly right on the kitchen counter is a phone. You're trying to walk all over the house trying to find it. I live in New York. Blessings. I live in New York, so that's one of the blessings about traveling for me, because I don't live far from JFK. So thankfully, I was able to basically like just walk out, right? Because I have global entry, so I didn't have to wait on a super long line. But it was a lot of traffic to enter the airport, so I did have to wait outside a little bit, but it was good. She's in California, and our city is called Sun City, and it's sunny. Too many days. Young lady, bite your tongue. Ain't no such thing as sunny too many days. I love the sun. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do appreciate, the rainy days, especially like in the summertime because the grass and the trees and the garden needs it. But like just for the earth. I remember like during COVID, I was grateful when I saw how clean the rivers and the streams were, and everything was just green, and the streets were clean because everyone was inside. So I've grown to appreciate rainy days even more, especially since I have my natural hair, so I don't mind shrinkage. but but anyway, I'm grateful that like most days it was just he and myself, and then like his nephew came, and the three of us basically just created a nice rhythm. And yeah, I'm grateful. Like I'm grateful um that I had the night flight, because usually I think when we come home, usually when we're leaving from here to go there, we catch a night flight so that we can get there in the mornings. And when we're leaving there, usually it's a morning flight and we get home in the afternoon. But thank God there was a flight that was in the evening so that I was able to spend most of the day with him. I was able to have I prepared breakfast, and then we also had dinner together, he and I, before his nephew got there, and like we got ready to go to the airport. But like I'm thankful for his nephew who lives there. It's funny because he's just introverted and slightly older than I am. And this was a guy that I think I mentioned this to him before, but I meant to tell him this time, but I didn't. That I used to be so intimidated by him. I might have mentioned it on here. I don't even know. On a previous video, but I used to be intimidated by his nephew because he just seemed so cold, standoffish, antisocial, all the things that I've been accused of. But since we have both been, separately working on ourselves and growing, we understand each other more, and it's just a beautiful thing to be in rhythm with someone, right? Where you do not have to explain too much, and you do not have to. You can just, um, I don't know, like feel comfortable sharing, like your thoughts, right? Because there are times when we're weird and awkward, and we say things, and people are like, "What?" But it's nice to be able to connect with someone in a way such that it's not like that. It's a comfortable conversation because we both get it. Um, so Blessing says, I was told I'm vitamin D deficient. What? How are you vitamin D deficient living in the most sunny city? Are you inside all the time? Okay, so the heat. I do have a problem. So I love the summer because I'm one of those girlies that's like, listen, you can always take off layers, right? So my thing is, it's like I can always dress like wintertime. There's was so many layers that one can wear during the winter, right? And I just don't like. For me, being cold is very uncomfortable. But I'm a firm believer, and we were not meant to wear clothes. If it wasn't for even an apple, we'd be walking around in loincloth. But I will say though that the summer, just like the winter, the summer sometimes the days are like super, super, super hot. Um, like we had some heat waves this year that was like none other that I've ever experienced before. So, something is happening. Hopefully one day there'll be a level set where we get back to some normalcy, but I don't know, it's just extreme. It's either extremely cold or extremely hot. Um, excuse me. So, this trip taught me a lot about myself. It showed me exactly how much I have grown this past year, actually. To one, continue to, well, with Uncle is more so basically seeing him, I see myself, and I'm, choosing to take the time and to have the patience to understand him, to basically have conversations and understand him better. It's allowing me also to understand who I am and who I am becoming, right? I think sometimes the senior citizens, at least the ones in my life, because it's my uncle there, and then I have one of my mom's older sisters here that doesn't live far, and I feel like they think that once they get to a certain age, that they're placed out to pasture to just wait. And even though they don't say those words, I kind of feel that that's how they feel, and I don't like it because it should not be that way. So that's why I'm grateful to do what I can when I can. Because Lord knows, when I grow old, it's gonna be me and my turtle. And my turtle can't cook. I don't think my turtle gonna be able to cook, so I gotta have to figure it out. But um, so Lesson said, yeah, we have dry heat, not humid as it. Oh God, yes, it gets so humid here. I will say though that this past summer, I don't think it was as humid, but sometimes it gets so humid that you can hardly breathe, especially in Manhattan, where there is just like traffic and a lot of buildings and the subway underneath. But this year, I feel like it wasn't as humid, but we did get some super hot days. Um, I'm actually looking forward to going back to England. And there are some changes coming along early for me next year. So I think that um, I'm going to, like just explore certain options so that, he can, I don't know. I really and truly just want to be there for him. But now that I'm thinking about it, what about my mama? I got my mama to worry about. I mean, hopefully she'll decide to come along on this trip. If not, then it'll be another short trip. And that's the thing, like when you have a large family and they're all over the place, like it's hard because then, I mean, I have, like uncles in New Jersey that I haven't seen for a very long time. Jersey isn't that far, but it's far when you are basically like juggling a lot. And for me, I used to love to drive. I've driven to like Boston, Connecticut. And the farthest that I've driven was to Florida. It was me, my mom, and at the time, I think my niece was like 5 years old. But in the past few years, I don't like driving as much anymore. So I walk everywhere. Like I love to walk. There's a grocery store that's about 2 miles up. So I basically do that on the weekends. If I need to go to the mall, that's about like a mile, give or take from here. Staples is a little over 2 miles away. So I enjoy walking. Like I'll walk. If I have too much groceries and someone's home that can pick me up, then I'll call them. Otherwise, I'll Uber it. Um, or I'll just build my muscles and walk down the street with these heavy ass bags. But I think because I know that I don't really get enough sleep, I don't want to risk anyone's life being behind the wheel, knowing fully well I'm going to be tired. So if it's something that's, like walkable, I walk. If not, then like if it's, out of state, then if I can take a bus or the train, that's what I opt to do. Um, yeah. But I do wish that, we were all closer so that we would be able to connect more because I realize that as we're growing older, and I think this is how they feel like, after a while, they just feel like they don't matter anymore. And they actually say words like that. And I'm the one, no, don't say that. That's not true. Because for me, it isn't. But I can't tell them how to feel, number one. Number two, they're the ones living in their silence and in their lonely, whatever. That's why they should all get turtles. I'm getting me a turtle. Hey, Violet Crow. Do you like to drive though, Violet Crow, or do you like to drive, or do you like to take public transportation? Because I used to love to, basically like do road trips. I really did. States, like so, Boston, Connecticut, as I mentioned before, like Florida was the farthest one, and just going back and forth to New Jersey. But because I'm tired, I feel like I just want to be sitting on a locomotive or whatever have you, and not have to worry about traffic. Because that's the other thing too. Traffic can be so annoying. But anyway, my time, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time in London, listening, learning, loving in quiet, intentional ways. Today, I spent most of the day working on one of my websites had some issues, so I've been working. I've been. My mom was saying that I'm talking too much. She's so rude. Well, pick me up, Violet Crow, please. But anyway, before I was rudely interrupted, I was working on a website, one of my websites, because it had some technical issues. And when I tell you that ChatGPT is the bomb, because ChatGPT has been helping me to fix problems I didn't even know I had on the website. So that's what I was doing all day today. Excuse me. And a little after 7, I was yawning with that sound. And my mom was like, "Why don't you go to your bed?" And I'm like, "Oh no, gotta stay up a little bit longer because if I go to bed now, I might wake up at 2 o'clock, and I don't need that. I have to be bright eyed and bushy tailed to head to the office on Monday morning." And it's crazy because at one point I was like, "I'm not gonna do a live tonight," and then 3 seconds later, I'm gonna do my live tonight. I'm grateful that I got my 50 days done before this trip because I wouldn't have made it last night. Even when I got home, I was like, there's no way. There was no way I was gonna, like come online to do anything. Furthermore, all my peoples would have been sleeping. Hey, Karen Wallace. um, but again, like this trip to London, like it was bittersweet, and I'm looking forward to see my uncle again. And it's funny because I kept saying to his nephew, "How about we do this and how about we do that?" Like in terms of uncle's comfortability. But uncle's that type of person that he is set in his ways, and I realized that um, if there's this thing over here that's been sitting on the wall for many years that doesn't need to be there or needs to be removed, and it's removed, he gets angry about it. Like, why you throw it away? Why you do it? And the thing is, it's like, uncle, it serves no purpose. Yes, but just leave it. Why? But I think it's because of routine, right? I was saying to mom today that I think it's not. I don't think he cares about the thing. I think it's just what it represents, and all of those things are memories of my aunt, right? Because he walks around the house, and when I tell you that one of the most painful thing to see or hear him say, like I remember when she passed away in 2023, and we were there visiting. I was working from home from there, and I was sitting in the front room. They have like two living rooms. The front one, which is like the sitting room where they have tea. They don't have tea, but I guess back in the day, that's what the room was for. And the back room, which was where they basically spend the day and if they have company or whatever have you. And I remember working, and he came into the room where I was, and he said, "Do you reckon she's upstairs?" And I said, "Who?" And he said, "Sis," because he called my aunt sis. And I was like, "No, uncle, he's gone." When I tell you, I cried like when because I didn't cry in front of him, like because it's almost as if like if he's crying, I don't want to cry too because somebody has to be strong. And so lately I've been allowing myself to be the strong person. But when so then he went upstairs and he came back and he was like, "She wasn't there." God, I was so heartbroken. So seeing him basically go through those same emotions now, because he knows that she's gone and she's not going to come back. But I think for him, like he hasn't accepted it as yet. And I feel like grieving for everyone is different. All right. And that's why I am looking forward to returning. So before I close tonight, let me leave you with this. Please keep going. Keep showing up even when you're tired, even when you're stretched, even when the growth feels slow. Keep growing, especially in the quiet places where no one else sees the work that you're doing. And wherever you go, be a blessing. Be a blessing. Someone needs a light that you're carrying, even if you don't realize how bright it truly is. Please remember, peace isn't a place, it's a choice. Your girl is tired. She tired. Mommy tell me I'm talking too much, but I think it's because I'm tired. If you have not picked up my book, then please get my book, Unlocking the Introvert, a pocket guide to understanding and interacting with introverts. It is available at societyofintroverts.com, Amazon, and everywhere books are sold online. I thank you all for joining me tonight. Thank you for coming along with me on this journey. I've grown plenty these past 52 days, I think. I think this is a 52nd live. And I'm grateful because you show up for me. It encourages me and inspires me to basically like keep showing up. Again, I wasn't even gonna come on tonight. I was like, but I have to, I have to come on and report. So I'm grateful. So I thank you all for those who are in the chat. Blessings, Violet Crow, Karen Wallace, and I thank those who are watching. I'm not sure if everyone who's watching, but I know that Mama's watching, so thank you, Mama. um, oh yes, Blessing. She said Blessing said that my dad. She says, yeah, I get it. My dad passed away in 2022, and my mom in January 2025. Whoa, that's hard. And that's the thing. Like we know that they're going to go one day, but it's tough. I remember one day I was like, I thought about my mom because we're like very close. But then I said, but I might go first because we don't know. We don't know what God has planned. So that's why I'm grateful for every moment that I'm able to share with her, even from a distance. She's here, but like when I was traveling, she wasn't with me. Um, but I'm grateful that I'm able to create memories and moments with her. And that's exactly what I did with Uncle. I created memories and moments with him that could never be taken away. And at least he'll have those to cherish until next time. So, thank you, Blessings. I appreciate that. Um, so, I will bid you all farewell. It is going on 9 o'clock, which is a ripe time for me to go to bed and I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Please stay blissful, and I will see you all next time. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. Take care.